Hello everyone. Today we are going to be discussing the asset flywheel. This is one of my favorite topics because if you treat this mental model well, you can actually develop very quickly on the path to, say, financial freedom or financial independence. Now, all the asset flywheel means is that it is a way for you to acquire online businesses faster if you use this kind of mental discipline I'm going to be talking about. The whole point of the asset flywheel is to bend everything to one purpose and one purpose only. And that purpose is to build or buy more assets. And in the case of what we're talking about today, those assets are online businesses. So join me and I'm going to discuss and dissect how you can use the asset flywheel, where the idea originally comes from, how it applies to investing in buying online businesses, and how you can use it to its most effective core. Stick around to the end of this video because I am going to show you a very easy way for you to go out there and start buying assets. Or if you already have a profitable asset and you want to do the other part of the flywheel where you're selling, I'll also show you a way you can do that quickly. So let's dive in. All right. So the asset flywheel is a term I've coined, and I was inspired to create this idea from actually a marketing principle. So in marketing, if you're familiar with a company named HubSpot, I believe they're the ones who coined this first. There's something that they call the marketing flywheel. The marketing flywheel takes a traditional marketing funnel and kind of tips it upside down. So a traditional marketing funnel usually has three parts. The top, where people are just finding out about your company and what you do. The middle, where you're building the trust with the company's building trust with those people who just found out about them. And then the bottom of the funnel, where it's answering any last obstacles or challenges that might be making that potential customer say no to buying your product. Now, in a traditional marketing funnel, once that person goes through all three steps and become a customer, marketing doesn't do anything with them, right? They're busy trying to get more people through this funnel. But the marketing flywheel, what it does differently is it doesn't really start until you generate that customer. And all of your effort is on this customer to either buy more or to get that person to refer more people to you. So it's called the marketing flywheel because every time you get a customer in and you have these systems to make that customer absolutely love what you do, then you get to go ever and ever faster. When you produce one customer, that customer might refer to two more people over to your business, and those two more people might refer 4 or 5. And it just starts growing exponentially if you have everything set up correctly. So that's the marketing flywheel. The asset flywheel is very similar. So the asset flywheel is everything is bent to the single purpose of producing and acquiring or building more digital assets such as online businesses. So if you have one affiliate site, everything that affiliate site earns is meant to go out and build or buy more affiliate sites or e-commerce stores, whatever it happens to be. So that's the asset flywheel, and it tips the idea of making money kind of upside down because you're not really there to make any money at all with the business you currently have, bought, or built. So if your business is making $2,000 net profit per month, you're trying as much as possible not to use that money for anything else other than actually buying more businesses. So the whole point of the asset flywheel is to grow as fast as possible by using the asset itself to produce more assets. As you do this, when you realize that, your business isn't just there to make you money, but it's actually there to make you, wealthy potentially, but through other assets, your flywheel will become faster and faster. And how that works in the asset flywheel is, say you built up a business, you sell that first business for say $200,000, you use all of the profits, all of the capital, and hopefully some of the monthly profit that it was generating to go out there and buy a couple more businesses. And then you build those up, you sell off 1 or 2 of those businesses, and every time you go through this cycle, your flywheel, the asset flywheel, starts speeding up exponentially. It starts off very slow, which is frustrating because I just said this can be a very quick way to riches, right? But when I say it is a quick way to riches, what I mean is that it is much faster than other paths. Like if you were trying to retire early with just the stock market, you're probably looking at like 20, 25 years, maybe 15 years if you get lucky with what you're doing, but it's going to take a long time. In converse, by using the asset flywheel when it comes to online businesses, you can often accomplish the same thing between 5 and 10 years instead of that 15 to 25 year range. So let's talk a little bit on a hypothetical of how this might work. Let's say you built up that first business, you get it to say $4,000 to $5,000 net profit per month. You end up selling that business for $100,000. Now you take that $100,000 and you either go and buy two smaller businesses, maybe two businesses at 50K each, or you use that money to build more businesses from scratch. Either way is totally possible. I prefer buying because I think that's how you're going to make the asset flywheel go much, much faster, but it's up to you which way you want to do it. Once you have once you have those two new businesses and say each of them are making between $4,000 and $5,000 per month again, and this might be on year 2 of the journey, right? The first year was spent building up that first asset, and then you sell that asset maybe a year and a half into it, and you buy these two new businesses. Now you're like 2.5 years into this, and you sell those two businesses, or maybe you only sell one, but each of those businesses are now making 4 or 5K per month. So you can sell each of them for 100K. Let's say you sold each of them. So now you're at 200K at the end of 2.5 years. Right around that mark, you can go and buy 4 businesses, right? Each at 50K, you do the same thing. In another year and a half, you can sell all 4 of them, or you keep the one that you think has the most potential and sell off 3 of them and use the capital of those 3 to buy more businesses or plow all that money back into the major growth business that you're seeing. Either way, as you can see, we're only in about year 4 here, maybe 3.5 years, 3.5 or 4 years. But by doing this, you would already be sitting on a nest egg of close to 500 to 800K. Now that's when things get really interesting, because now you have a pretty big war chest, and this allows you to do a lot of different things if you have been a good steward of your money and your capital over this period of time. You could take that 500K or just repeat what you've been doing, making the asset flywheel go ever faster, or you can start a business in a much more competitive, lucrative market without having to raise any capital at all, because you yourself are the one who raised the capital through these small businesses that you built and sold. So you can enter almost any market, even the most competitive markets. And if you have $500,000 as your initial war chest and runway to start that business, you're in a good place, right? Or like I said, you can just go back and start investing into more businesses and just keep the asset flywheel going. Over a period of years, 5 years is when I think it gets most interesting, when it starts to really get interesting. That's usually when you're going to have between 500 to maybe even $1 million in capital at this point. Now you can do a lot of different things, right? And all it took was doing a simple rinse and repeat system. Now your system might be wildly different from another buyer using this mental model, but either way, it is extremely powerful. The core of this, the core of how it works is you have to be a good steward of your capital. This is when I like to bring in something from the FIRE movement. Now, if you're not familiar with the FIRE movement, it stands for Financial Independence and Retire Early. It's a great little movement, really powerful advice. And one of the most core tenets of the advice that they actually give is being frugal with your money. Now, some people absolutely love this. Other people actually hate it. They think like, why am I giving up my coffee for financial freedom? That's stupid, right? Some people don't like this idea, but if you can make frugality at the heart of your business, where you just pay yourself a pretty modicum salary over the period of years while you're doing this, and you bend every single dollar to the purpose of just buying more assets, more digital assets, and more businesses that you can build up over and over again, then over a period of just 5 years, like I said, you can be in a very, very good spot. But the key again is that frugality. Every dollar you make is like a little soldier that is going out there and fighting the war for you to go out and build something big. So you want to keep as many of those soldiers as possible in the fight for as long as possible. And that means budgeting, and that means controlling your spend and not going out and buying a Lamborghini and all that crazy stuff. Let's not do that. Besides, have you ever tried to go to a grocery store in a Lamborghini? It's not great. You can't really put a lot of stuff there, especially if you're going to Costco, you have tons of stuff. It's just awkward. Forget about the Lamborghini. Just go and buy more online businesses. That's going to be a way bigger profit producer, trust me. And you can buy more Lamborghinis at 10 years from now or something like that, right? By then though, you probably won't want one because, hey, go get a Tesla instead, right? So if you combine the FIRE frugality with this concept of the asset flywheel when it comes to buying an online business, you can shorten your path to financial freedom and financial independence. Instead of taking 15 to 25 years, it can literally take 5 to 10, maybe 15 on the larger outstretch of it. But I don't want you to walk away from this video thinking like this is a surefire deal, right? What I'm talking about is active investing. And active investing is very different than saying putting your money in a low index mutual fund. It's active versus that is passive, right? You're really not doing anything over here. You get a rate of return, hopefully, but you have no control over that rate of return. There is nothing you can do to make the rate of return over here go higher versus over here with active investing. You absolutely have control. You can do so many things over here that you just can't do over here. And because of that, because it is active investing, you can make the rate of return absolutely crazy over here. But over here is a lot more risky. It's a lot more volatile. Things can go south. And being an entrepreneur is not always the easiest path. Though there are plenty of people with those cool Lamborghinis telling you that, hey, this is the best path forward. And they're not wrong. But what they're saying there is making it sound way easier than it actually is. So I want you to go leave this video knowing that this is a very real thing you can do. We have seen it on our marketplace. People that have changed their lives doing the asset flywheel. We have people who have raised over $100 million, $200 million now buying businesses, right? We have seen it. It is actually real, but that doesn't mean it isn't difficult to do. So if you want to do this, just go into it knowing that, hey, you're probably gonna fail. And that doesn't mean you failed forever. It just means you're probably going to make some mistakes and you're probably going to spend some money you wish you hadn't spent and all that good stuff. But if you keep going at it and learning the skills of your chosen business model that you want to be in, whether it's e-commerce, SaaS, affiliate sites, whatever it is, and you apply this mental mentality of the asset flywheel to that, and the frugality of the FIRE movement, you're going to be in a very good place, even if you do have those moments of heartache. Entrepreneurship is all about challenges and overcoming challenges, and that is no different when it comes to active investing, because it's basically like the entrepreneurial version of investing, right? So I want you to keep all of that in mind. While this is extremely powerful if you use it well, and extremely simple, to be honest. I mean, all it is just buying a business, building it up, selling the business, buying more businesses, and doing it over and over again, right? And while that is very simple, it can be difficult to do, but I believe in you. I think you can do it as long as you take yourself seriously on it. So I want to talk about something that happens as you're building your asset flywheel. And that is what I like to call growth traps. So everyone loves growing. Who doesn't like seeing their net worth increase by 10x, 1,000-fold, something like that, right? Everyone loves that. But I'm telling you, there is a trap waiting there for you if you're not careful, especially once you get the asset flywheel idea really going for yourself and you've proven that you can do it. There's a trap waiting for you there, and that trap is the growth trap. And what I mean by that is you start just going all out. You're leveraging yourself to the T. You are investing, you're buying businesses over and over and over again. And you never stop and ask yourself, how will investing into this new business or buying this new asset actually help me reach my goals? Because over a certain period of time of doing this successfully, those 5 to 10 years of successfully doing this, you probably have reached most of your goals. So what I always tell people is before you go too crazy, ask yourself, how will buying this asset or doing this function that's going to give me more money actually help me out? What's in it for me? What's the non-monetary benefit of me doing this? And the reason why I say you should ask that is because otherwise you can get addicted to the growth. You just absolutely love it. You want to keep going, and then something real bad might happen, right? Where you lose all the assets or something happens in life where, it starts tanking or whatever. So you want to realize that as you're doing the asset flywheel, there's something that is called the build-up phase, which is what I've been talking about for the majority of this video, where you're just going hard. Everything is bent to the purpose of buying these assets, growing these assets, all that. But then you reach a certain point after the build-up phase that I call the deleverage phase. The deleverage phase is where you start backing down, where maybe you sell off almost all the businesses you bought, except for maybe one that you really enjoy working on, and you put that cash that you've earned into a little bit more stable assets. Things like real estate, those mutual index funds, things that are going to give you a less amount of return, but they're also way less volatile. And that the deleverage phase is very, very important once you get the growth phase, the buildup phase out of the way, right? And that is to protect you, to make sure you don't go too far. I've seen investors and entrepreneurs who absolutely love the game of growth, and they get to a part of their life where, say, they're in their early 60s, late 70s, and they're still playing the game of growth. And then something happens, they're like, whoa, okay, I guess I'm not retiring, right? So you want to be careful with that. Have very defined plans, and you should have all these plans before you even buy a single business or build a single business. Ask yourself, what is your goal? What does a successful life look like for you? How do you get there? What do you need to get there? And then use the Asset Flywheel and all the information and education we share, and buying businesses, all this awesome stuff to help you get there. But once you are there, realize you are there, and take enough chips off the table to make sure you will always remain there. Now, for some people, the idea of buying businesses and growing them is not just an investment strategy for them, it's something they become very passionate about. It's something that they absolutely love, and there's nothing wrong with that. After you get to your build-up phase where you want to be, and building businesses and buying them are your passion, it's just something you love doing, there's no reason to stop. You don't have to stop. But all I'm telling you is that you should have that deleverage phase where you're still doing it, you're still buying and building businesses, maybe just at a slower rate, and that deleverage phase, make sure you are well diversified into other investments. Okay, so as you now know, there is a season for everything in life. There's a season for growth, and there's a season to deleverage. I don't know what season you're in. Maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you're well on your path, and this is some good news, right? Like, you might have had these thoughts yourself, right? But regardless of where you are, I want to give you the bonus I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So if you don't know who we are, which I think I actually forgot to introduce myself, my name is Greg, by the way. I'm the director of marketing. Editor, please put the intro right here. But if you are, no matter where you are in your journey, if you don't know what we do, we help people buy and sell online businesses every single day of the week. So what we actually do is we help you grow by buying or selling online businesses. And what I mentioned at the top of the video was that we're going to help you find a way where you can sell off your business or go and buy a bunch. And that way is very, very, very simple. It is simply going into the link in the description, and there will be 2 links. If you are someone looking to buy digital assets, there is a link that will say empireflippers.com/register, and you'll be able to register for a free Empire Flippers account. This account will give you access to literally dozens and dozens of digital assets, ranging from $20,000 affiliate sites to 8-figure e-commerce stores. We have a little bit of everything, depending on where you are and where you want to start. But those are real businesses that are making real money, and that account is going to give you a bunch of different search functions, advanced filtering, and all that kind of stuff, so you can find your target list of businesses you want to acquire right away. It will take you literally minutes for the first part of your due diligence system, at least. So that is a very powerful tool at your disposal, and it's 100% free. The next thing, if you are wanting to sell one of your businesses, an online business specifically, so you can start your Asset Flywheel movement, there is a second link in that description where it's just empireflippers.com valuation-tool, and you'll be able to fill out that valuation tool to really understand what your business is worth. We use real sales data to make up that tool. So when you get the ballpark range of the estimation of what we think your valuation would be, that is pretty close to what the private market is going to be paying you for that business. Now, obviously, if you're ready to sell, you will have an opportunity to go ahead and engage us, and we would be happy to help you sell that business. We've helped over 1,000 entrepreneurs at this point make some life-changing exits in their business and in their life that all help their asset flywheel start spinning faster and faster. So we would love to help you on that too. All right. Back to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, it would mean the world to me if you go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment below. What do you think of the Asset Flywheel? Do you think this is a helpful mental model for you to have? And do you plan on using it? What's your plans? What's your build-up plan? I would love to know, so leave a comment down below. Talk to you soon. Bye.